This will be a follow-up video to my 72-hour fast, and today I'm going to talk about refeeding, and part of that includes these things. Oh. Now every once in a while when I'm hiking I might have 2 or 3 of these, but today I'm going to talk about refeeds. I'm going to talk about why carb night probably isn't working for so many of us. I'm going to talk about ketogenic refeeds. And then I'm going to talk about the refeed that our group seems to be locking in on as better for those of us who have got weight to lose, those of us who are not bodybuilders. Hey everybody, if you're liking the content, please give me a thumbs up, but more importantly, subscribe. Okay, I haven't had berries in so long. Well, I have 2 or 3 little bitty berries once in a while, but nothing to knock me out of ketosis. So let me follow up with you on all the refeeds or carb pounders or whatever you want to call it. There used to be a book also called Carb Night. So let me get into these refeeds and why you need to do them if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're one of those guys like me that struggles with this never-ending battle with carbohydrates. I do believe we need them, but in that same breath, some of us just get to that point where even broccoli causes us to gain weight, and it's very frustrating, but it is what it is. And so many other metrics that are involved in health just can't be there if you're carrying an extra, well, for me it was close to 70 pounds extra, and it's been these last 30 that are the toughest bloody things to get off. Now, little context though, my age, and I've just got something in the Philippines they call them slippers. They're flip-flops, but these are leather flip-flops. So anyway, let's just go back in time a little bit, not my time, but my journey here, and talk about something called Carb Night. Kiefer came up with this one, and his whole thing was that periodically you need to smack your metabolism up the side of the head and say, go back to work. Now, his concept was okay, except that he comes from the weightlifting world and the heavy bodybuilding world. And I got another thing in my slipper again. I'm walking on a wood chip surface here. Anyway, in his Carb Night book, a lot of times it was like you take that night and you just give her hard. You'll eat a whole large pizza all to yourself. You'll maybe bring home a dozen donuts and scarf them all down, and you really spike your insulin like crazy. Now that's all fine and dandy in the weightlifting world, where you're maybe at 8% body fat and you're trying to drop another 1 or 2%, right? And it just, I'm sorry guys, maybe it works. I've tried it a couple of times and it has some success. The problem is, in my opinion, or at least for this body, I can't do it because I have to do these refeeds like every 2 weeks. It's insane, you know. And the other problem with it is trying to say to the almighty mind, you only get to do it once, only once in the next 3 weeks. You know, or 2 weeks or whatever it might be. The brain just goes right back into, oh, bread smells so good. Oh, do you smell that pizza? Ah, cheese, you know. bakeries, worst things in the world. I'm sure that they deliberately pump the smell out of the building, right? Anyway, so then I went to the next step, which was, and by the way, having good success with 36-hour fasts, where you make sure that that 36-hour fast is timed with 2 sleeps. So eat, sleep, nothing, sleep, and then start your eating again. Whatever that looks like. I call it a 36-hour, but it could be 40. And if you're feeling really good and you didn't get, that hangry stage, you can keep going. So I've had very good success with that. And then afterwards, especially for the ladies in the hacking group, they have very good success with being able to be in ketosis for about 3 weeks before the next cycle starts, right? So, a lot of this fits for both ladies and men, and that 36-hour fast just gets you into ketosis that much quicker. But getting back to the refeeds. So my next refeed was, okay, we're just going to stay with the keto foods, but we're going to ramp up on, the protein side of the meat, and we're going to have a little bit more broccoli, a little bit more cauliflower, sulfur vegetables, and up the fat a little bit, thinking that it will come from the body. Well, when you do a refeed, it doesn't work. Numerous people in my group, it doesn't work. Okay, so with the fat upping, assuming that part of that metric will come from your body, okay, but on a refeed, it's a massive fail. It just doesn't work for so many of us, and the amount of success was so limited that it really wasn't worth it. So lately what we've been doing, and now this is only my second try, others have tried it before me and say they've had good success. And this is going to be my second time. So right before my last fast, now that was maybe a week of doing this. Before I committed to doing the fast and prepping with a low-carb diet before the fast and then continuing on, where I'm making good ketones and that whole hunger thing has gone away. The only thing that's getting in my way is the brain and the nostril. It's not so much the taste, it's just those smells, right, that get me going. Here I go with another thing on my slipper. Okay, so anyway, it's fruit. So what we've been doing is like most of us are a 2-meal-a-day group of people, right? And that supplies us with more than enough calories, but the kicker here is the amount of digestion time that you're going through is massively waned. It's allowing the gut to have time to relax and not be in this constant flux of digestion, which for some cultures, some people, maybe that works, but I'm not convinced of it, mostly because when we were in Southeast Asia, I started testing a lot of skinny minis. And sorry, but the diabetes is still in the same range. That 30% range is still there. And that's mostly because of all the rice that they eat. Again, they're smacking themselves pretty hard with insulin spiking, right? So they may not be gaining weight, but they are diabetic. So I'm not convinced. But getting back to the fruit thing, so what I did, what I'm going to do today is this morning I woke up and I had my 3 egg yolks early with a little bit of meat, and then at lunch my sandwiches now, for the last little while anyway, it's kind of just a different way of doing it, is just a sliced cheese, something like a Gouda or a Swiss that folds easy, and then some meat in between with a pickle, and add your condiment. Woo, it's windy. Add your condiment, and then there you go. So I've had that. I've had the eggs in the morning, so I've added the extra meal. So tonight, I was thinking of a soup, but I won't. I want to have more, um, less liquid involved in this smack. And then probably about 7 o'clock tonight, which would be about 3 hours before I'm actually sleeping, I'm gonna have a large bowl, which will probably consist of a whole banana, um, some melon, and a whole mango. Now, I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on top of that. I'm not sure that I want to put yogurt on it, but maybe something like a coconut cream or something along those lines to just pop it up a little bit more in calories. Um, my goal is to hit around 3,000 calories today. And again, I'm being very cautious about not having fatty foods today. Uh, Even then, if I'm, say, logging my food, I make sure that I have a built-in, you can put in custom foods into a lot of these programs, right? So what I do is I take, say, the equivalent of 2 slices of bacon, and I look at what the fat content of that is, and that's what I say is going to come from my body when I'm trying to lose weight or stay in ketosis. And it's been very successful for me. Okay, N equals 1. Remember that experiment of 1. And but a lot of us find that if we do that when we've got weight to lose, then do that. Now, the other thing that I have stopped doing is hits. I'm not doing the high intensity training anymore. What I found was that that was just leaving me more hangry. That was with an H. Um, and then I've moved away from strength training to a degree, not just nowhere near as intense and nowhere near as often. But Anson put me on to swinging weights, but lighter, to help pull the tendons and that type of thing. And that plus dropping the oxalates out of my food, I don't have any joint pain anymore. It's just totally gone. Absolutely gone, 100%. The doctor said, yeah, Ken, I think you got psoriatic arthritis. You have to start bracing yourself. Your sister's got arthritis. Maybe you're going down that path. And if I hadn't accidentally done a juicing, I would never have discovered, because I insisted on lab work after getting some gout. I had to push the doctor. I can't believe how hard I had to push him, because he wouldn't listen to me. No, I haven't been eating red meat. Coincidentally, in the last little bit, no, I haven't. And we're living in the interior. There's not much seafood here. I wasn't eating that stuff. And so, I said, get the lab work done. I'm telling you now I'm the client. I'm no longer the patient. I'm the client. And I had to insist, let's get some blood work done. And let's, what else? And he said, well, let's get your urine done as well at the same time. And so we did that. And lo and behold, before 24 hours was even up, his office was contacting me saying, wow, your oxalate levels are through the roof. What have you been doing? Boom, juicing. Okay, that's why there was no seafood and red meat right then. My thought processes were off on a tangent, and it was like, well, I can get my liquid for my body. I might as well just get it from vegetables and stuff. Everybody says so. So maybe there's something to this juicing thing. Well, in this case, the oxalates, but then of course you start looking at it closer and you realize that even the sugars in celery or cucumber, you've just made it into liquid, right? And even though you're drinking all the fiber and everything, but the net result is everything is going through into your body extremely fast. And so probably spiking insulin at the same time. So anyway, we're going to do this, and then we're going to, starting tomorrow, I will again have 3 meals, but no carbs. And The second meal will probably be just a snack, like, I don't know, piece of meat or something, pretty small. And then a dinner, and then sometime later this week, early next week, I'll do a full fast again. Probably not the 72 hours again. I do believe that these longer fasts need to be more seasonally based. Won't get into that today. Just I have a thing about seasonal advantages, okay, and disadvantages. So there we go. I will say this about seasonal. Stand at your front window, stare out the window, pretend it's December 31st. Assume that we've just had a massive thing and there are no more grocery stores. You have to go forage. Now please tell me where you're going to get your carbohydrates from. Okay? So just saying, maybe there's something to a lot of this clocking stuff. We're all about circadian rhythms when it comes to sleep, but we ignore all the other circannual and circadian things that happen on this planet, and one of them is seasons. Okay, we'll leave it at there, boys and girls. Have a great day. Later, Gators.